Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today let me address this issue of driver score and acceptance rate. Now, you know that I think Bolt is the only app that allows for this evaluation of driver score and acceptance rate. Apparently, you have to accept trips even though you don't want to, even though they're not to your benefit. Anyway, the thing is with Bolt, right? I've literally gotten some trips that wanted to take me to another state. Like, I do ride sharing in Abuja, and I kid you not, I've gotten trips that wanted me to go to Lagos in the middle of the day. Right, this dude, I think he wanted to go and has to be there by evening or something like that. He was willing to pay up to 70 something thousand to get to Lagos. And of course I rejected. And some other time I accepted. I thought, okay, maybe this person is not very sure as to where they wanted to go. So maybe I'll accept it. I'll speak to them over the phone and then we can clarify that. And then I accepted and spoke to them. They were actually going to Lagos. I can't go to Lagos. I don't have my toothbrush. So I said no. So I had to cancel it myself because he said he's been canceling for too long and he doesn't want to cancel again and Bolt may block him, some story like that. I got penalized for that. But what could I have done? Accepted the trip and actually driven him to Lagos? That's the crazy thing about this driver score shenanigan, and it's just not serving any good purpose. At least on Uber and I think on other platforms as well. You can reject as many trips as you want, right? It's just common sense. If it's not good, it's not good. If it's good, it's good. You will always find somebody who wants to go to a particular place. But if you have people not wanting to go to a certain place because of the price, or rather because of the locality, or because of what the experiences drivers get from it, I don't think it's their fault, right? There's something about the place that makes most people don't want to go there. At the very least, I think you could maybe increase the price, make it look like the airport trip, wherein you go there and then the chances of you coming back with any customer in your car is almost next to zero, right? Maybe do that instead of penalizing the drivers for not wanting to go to certain areas. That's just not right. Okay. All right, all those stories aside, so what I'm actually wanting to talk about today is how to not get suspended or banned, you know, how to accept or reject trips, without necessarily making it to affect your driver score or your acceptance rate. Now, I have to do a rundown because I had dropped a total of 3 videos on this subject. Now, the very first one had to do with getting to the location, clicking on the Arrive Now button, and then canceling the trip and say the client asked me to asked me to cancel, So I think I had done this method maybe a year plus ago. Since then, the method has not been very consistent. Okay? For some people it still works, but for most people, I think, even myself, it doesn't work anymore for me. So that's why I know for sure it doesn't work. Maybe there's been some update or whatever, but that doesn't work anymore, at least for me. And then there was another video I made wherein I said, I think the video was not necessarily a trick, it was just simply accept trips that you want to go on if you want your driver score to come up, and reject trips that you cannot go on, but that will cost you your acceptance rate. However, your driver score will not be affected. So I think that video was mostly based on how to sustain your driver score. All right, not necessarily decreasing it, but if you wanted to increase it, you have to go on those trips. The third video had two tips and tricks to it, and those ones still work till date. These are the ones I want to reiterate because there's been a lot of questions around this issue, as maybe I just wanted to make it very coherent so that there are no ambiguity. So the thing is this: if you want to go offline without necessarily losing your driver score, your acceptance rate, there is one simple method for that. I said two. There are two simple methods for that. I've said this before, like I said in the third video I made about this, but let me just reiterate again for clarity. The first is you drive to the location, you pick up the person, you actually start the trip and then drive for a very short distance and end the trip. Okay, you're going to pay the minimal base amount. Okay, that will cost you some commission, but your driver score and acceptance rate will not go down. In fact, if anything, they will climb, they will go up. The only problem with this method, like I just mentioned, it will cost you a couple of bucks in commission payment. For instance, if you took up a trip and then the trip was, let's say, 3,000, all right, let's say the base fare for that trip was somewhere around 1,200. Let's say 1,000 naira for easy calculation. The commission for that is 200 naira. So you will most definitely still need to pay 200 naira in commission. But your driver score and acceptance rate will stay. As a matter of fact, they tend to go up. They tend to go up. But it will cost you. That's the only thing. All right. The advantage is that instead of paying a commission for 3,000 naira, you're only paying commission for 1,000 naira for a 3,000 naira trip. Do you understand? So that's the advantage there. Then, by the way, the base fare may vary. Sometimes it's 700, sometimes it depends on how long you drive and then the surge at the time of the booking of, the booking. So the second thing or the second method is this, all right? You drive to the location where you have been booked from. You drive to go pick the customer up. When you get there, slide the arrive now button. Now there's a 5-minute counting downwards, all right? When you get there, allow that timer to count down till 2:00. That's 2 minutes. That is to say, let 3 minutes exhaust. On your app, it should be 2 minutes showing, okay? Then cancel it at that point, or any point after that. Like it could be 1 minute or lesser than that, you can cancel it, but then your reason will always be when you press cancel, when they give you a pop-up reason, make sure you pick the client did not show. Whenever you pick this, your acceptance rate goes up by 1, but driver score neither goes up nor comes down. It stays where it is. All right, it works every time. I use this actually more than I use the first method because, well, for this one, I don't have to spend a dime on commission, right? I'm saving up 100% on commission. There is absolutely no commission payment. Now, this is the thing. When you drive to the place, as soon as you arrive, all right, slide the arrive now button and then proceed to call the customer and be like, okay, I think I'm at the gate, or I'm outside, or I'm at the location, or whatever it is. So let the timer be counting downward. So by the time the customer comes out, and then you then just, casually slip it in that, is it okay if I go offline if you don't mind, right? Within all that time period, more than likely 3 minutes would have elapsed. Another thing again is that sometimes if 3 minutes does not elapse at that point, you can drive for like 200 meters. Within the 200 meters radius, or maybe 300 meters, I'm not too sure now, you can still cancel from that distance. But if you go too far, you cannot cancel with the reason that the client did not show. All right, so you make sure you have to do it around the area where you picked up that client from. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Now, 2 things to remember in this method. I am recommending this method, definitely recommending it. Two things to remember. Number one, whenever the person books you, try to remember the location the person has put on the map. That the destination, basically, right? Where the person is going, not where you're picking them from, where the person is going. The reason for this is so that you don't have to bother the customer again with saying, okay, where are you going exactly and whatnot and whatnot. No, no, no. You already have that information. As a matter of fact, I would always advise that as soon as you get the order, even before you proceed to go pick up the person, you should take that location and type it in on your Google map so it saves, right? So when you pick up the person and the person agrees to go offline, you just go offline. All right, with that same location. You don't need to start asking, where are you going? Okay, no, don't do that. All right, but confirm, please. Don't be like an ITK. Like, for instance, if you're in Abuja, there are, let me use where now? Akko Estate, Akko Estate, right? There are like 3 locations of Akko Estate. There's one in the airport road, there is one in Life Camp, there is also one around the Wuse area. All right, so try and verify. If you did not find the specification on the map, try and verify, okay? And then the second thing again you need to make sure about is try to go with the same amount that is being displayed on the app. All right, so before you cancel, tell the person to please help me confirm the price on your app, and then the person would check and tell you before you cancel. If you cancel, you can't check it. All right, and sometimes the price fluctuates, especially with the the surge of a thing. So make sure to check it before you finally cancel the ride with the reason that the client did not show. Try to, should I say, practice this, and then after a while I think you will get around it and then you get used to it. Always remember that an offline trip is a favor to you. The customer gets nothing out of it. So always be candid about it. Be nice when you're asking about it. Request for it. Don't demand like it's your right. No. Even if the economy is going upside down, it's not the customer's fault. All right? So please, it's a favor to you. The customer gets nothing out of it. In fact, there are some customers who go ahead to actually negotiate the price with you because they feel like, no, I'm doing you a favor and I'm getting nothing out of it. At least cut it down a little bit and we're both happy, right? I feel like that's not a bad deal. If a customer insists on bargaining the price with you because you're going offline, it's not a bad deal, but make sure that whatever you allow the customer to have, or whatever price you finally agree on, is not the same, or rather below the amount that you would have taken if you had gone off online with commission. What I mean is this: for instance, if a trip is 1,000 naira and because you're going offline, the customer is insisting I'll give you 700, right? It's bullshit, okay? Because if you had gone online, you would still get 800. Do you get? So sometimes it's even better to just go online and just leave all these stories and all that. And some other time it's also easier to go online so that you don't have people telling you stories. And some customers tend to have all these what's it called, not layover, those are flying terms. They have the stopovers in some places, and sometimes they delay you, and because it's an offline trip, you don't know how to value that properly. Although the online trips don't necessarily value it in a way that makes drivers happy, but at the very least, it's going to reduce the tendency for argument at the end of the day. Okay, so that's what I have to tell you today. All the best then. Bye bye.